in listen-only mode.
I want to welcome everyone to the Cabinet Learning Series first installment, the Cabinet mobile app for iPad for document management. Your presenter today is Steve Crabb. He's Region Manager for Canada and the Southwest United States. Just to remind you, this is a do-over of the October 31st webcast that had some issues, and we had to cut it short, so we're going to redo it again today. The session is going to run for 30 minutes, and there will be plenty of time at the end for questions. So we're going to keep the audience muted through the entire webcast, and we encourage you to use the question and answer panel on your GoToMeeting console to enter your questions at any time. And then at the end of the webcast, we're going to field those questions. We'll moderate those and answer them when Steve is finished. I want to remind you to keep an eye out for the email newsletter announcing additional classes in this series. And they come out from time to time every month, so just keep a lookout for those. And with that, away we go. Steve, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Gene, and thank you guys for attending. Again, it's the first session of a series of classes we're going to do, and today we're going to talk about Cabinet Mobile. We'll talk about what it is, some of the typical uses, and some of the classic user types that we have using the mobile application. And then we'll go through a brief overview from a training perspective. So there's users out there in the webinar that have purchased and are using Cabinet Mobile. We'll give you a few tips and tricks on some of the things that you may not be accessing and working with today. And then for those that are not using Cabinet Mobile, we'll give you a good overview of the application and how you can use it in your environment. So starting out, what is Cabinet Mobile? Cabinet Mobile is basically an iPad application that Cabinet has designed to interact with Cabinet Safe. In order to access Cabinet Mobile, you're going to need a license to Cabinet Safe, whether it's a cloud or an installed license, and it can be a full user down to just a web-only, view-only. What it's going to provide to your staff is the ability to access your documents from virtually anywhere, anytime. So if you have an iPad that is Wi-Fi enabled, of course, you're going to be able to access your documents anytime you're on a Wi-Fi connection. And if you have the cell connection, then you can access your documents out in the field and have a true remote environment. We also provide the ability to edit documents, and we're going to go through some of the typical uses for Word, Excel, and PDF documents. Send documents to other applications and email them straight from the Cabinet Mobile application. And one of the unique things that I really love about Cabinet Mobile, you also have this capability in Cabinet Safe, but in the mobile environment you're going to see this is a very nice capability, and that is PDF forms and the e-signature capabilities that are built right in. As you think about a typical user for Cabinet Mobile, obviously your sales reps, insurance agents, medical, field reps, financial industry are going to be heavy users for an iPad-based application. But as we look across our client base, we have lots of different people that are using the Cabinet Mobile application in some unique environments. Architectural firms, electric and utility cooperatives, manufacturing out in the shop floor, field services, of course, and then city, state, and local government. So you can kind of see this is really adaptable to many environments. So as we go through some of the functionality today, consider some of those other areas you may not be using Cabinet Mobile in. So for starters, let me share my iPad screen over. Once you've downloaded the Cabinet Mobile application, and again, this works if you're a cloud or an installed client, and we'll talk about some of the configuration and the license types that you will need at the end of this presentation in order to access Cabinet Mobile. You'll notice an icon on the main screen of your iPad. So to access Cabinet Mobile, you simply click on that icon. Again, users will need a valid license in the Cabinet Safe in order to access the mobile application. So I'll just press the login. One of the things you'll like from an IT perspective is we're not going to eat all your concurrent licenses up because Steve's logged in 3 times to Cabinet Safe. I'm logged in right now to the web client, so I get a prompt that basically says this license is already in use. Do you want to log in and release that license? So by saying yes, I've now released the license from Cabinet Safe. and I can log into Cabinet Mobile. If you have staff members that actually need the desktop application open as well as an iPad, you can have a separate license for the iPad and for the Cabinet Safe client. When you initially come into the mobile application, at the bottom screen, we'll see a toolbar. This enables me to access my cabinets, perform my searches, access my favorite documents. We have a document tray that's basically a temporary housing area for me to file documents, and then a checked out area and settings. We're going to come back to these settings at the end of the presentation and spend a little bit more time on them. So from the main screen at the cabinet level, we have, first of all, the ability to access your repository. So if your company is running multiple repositories, you can simply click on the repository or tap on the repository tab and see all of the repositories your company is running. Many of you out there have a main repository and a single repository. So in order to go into your repository, this area will be grayed out and you'll go straight into your main repository. On the right side, we're just going to display, every time you click on a repository, folder, document, some basic information. So this gives me the create date and the type of repository we're in. So if I click on the active personnel cabinet, now I've got a listing of all the cabinets or all the folders within this specific cabinet. Initially, I have the ability to come in and perform a search. So if I just want to find a specific cabinet, I can type any or all of the first or last name for this particular personnel file, and this will bring back all of the Smiths within this particular cabinet. You also have the ability to change the way that your cabinet folders are sorted and searching. So if I want to come into this one and search by state as opposed to first name, last name, I can press the index button and basically select the type of index that I want to sort by, and then again I can also search by that particular index. As I press on the blue arrow next to a folder, I'm taken to the basic folder information. Initially, I'll be able to see the index information. So if I'm out in the field and I need to get Mr. Ackworth's address to visit him, that's going to display here. Basic folder information, who last accessed this folder, when they accessed it, what sensitivity it is. The folder notes are also displayed here, so if I need to come in and view a particular note, I can press on that note and get a larger view. And if you have a note flagged as a red status in Cabinet Safe, that's going to come over and be displayed right here with a red flag as well. Lastly, the ability to trace. So if this folder has been routed through a workflow process, I'll have a trace right here on the main screen where I can see where this folder has been, who's touched it, etc. If I would like to edit the indexes in the field, I can simply press the Edit folder, and this will allow me to, for instance, come in and change Mr. Ackworth's address. There's also the ability to create new folders. So let's say I'm out on a work order, I need to create a new client folder. I can simply come in, fill out the appropriate index information, and save it. So your basic folder capabilities that are in the Cabinet Safe client are pulled right in here. Now to access a folder, I can simply click on that particular folder, and I'll get a listing of all the documents that reside within this folder. The search capabilities are going to be very similar to what we just looked at the cabinet folder search level. First of all, if I want to come in and search for a specific document, we'll look for all the expense reports in this folder. I can type part of the file name and get a nice listing of the documents within this folder. If I want to search by certain tabs, I want to go in and look at everything that's in the application tab, I can select that tab and basically filter out all the documents that are only in the tab area. By pressing the sort order, this is going to give me a little bit more capabilities than the folder sorting. I have the ability to sort by the title, create date, modify date, or tab in ascending or descending order. So we'll sort this by tab, and I'll see the application documents followed by the remaining tabs. Now, from the access and working with documents, as you'll notice, we're going to display the icon associated with the application for a specific document. A nice preview capability pops up as soon as I click on a document. So I have the ability to drag my fingers across the document with a really nice zoom, move the document around. So the interface is very friendly, just touching and moving the document. By clicking the information area, I will get the basic information on this document that you would see if you were in Cabinet Safe desktop client and you right-clicked and said Get Document Information. So I can see when this was created, who last touched it, etc. If there have been any routings associated with this document, I'll be able to trace it and see that Kevin checked this document out recently. Now, as you know, in the iPad environment, working with documents is quite different. You need a native application that will allow you to open and work with your PDF, Word, Excel, and Outlook-based documents. So if I have a document, and let me go back to the document view screen here, and I want to just open this in another application. There's a document action button that I can tap on, and this is going to bring me into a dialog that allows me to do several things. First of all, this document has been checked out by someone, so it's going to enable me to undo that checkout if I need to. If I want to email this document out, this will simply pop it into the iPad email browser and allow me to utilize my address book and send it to the appropriate person. To open the document itself, I'll be presented with the valid applications to open a Word document. You'll notice there's several here. For Word, Excel documents, we recommend Documents to Go. This basically provides an interface similar to Microsoft Word or Excel, so that if I do want to come in and open this document and make any changes to it, I can come in, type in the document, annotate it, add the bold font and things like that. As you know, to get back and forth between the application and the Word Docs to Go application, I'll need to press the Home button and select the Cabinet mobile app. So I'm right back in the document that we started off with. If you're working with Outlook documents, as you know, the iPad platform does not have a viewer for Outlook MSG files. So in order to work with your Outlook documents, each time you will need to go to OpenIn, and I've downloaded just a freeware OpenIn MSG viewer. So this will enable me to open the email, view the attachments, and work with them. So a very nice capability there. Now, from the standpoint of working with documents from an edit perspective, you'll notice the Document Actions tab is going to enable me to open a document in another application. If I want to actually work with and make changes to the document, I'll need to press the Edit button, and this will display the same dialog to allow me to select from a particular application. And for your PDF editing, we highly recommend PDF Expert. There's a lot of nice capabilities to utilize the built-in forms capabilities of Cabinet Safe, as well as e-sign, annotations, and things like that. So with this particular document, I can come in and complete the fields in this particular form. And if there are signature areas, then I can simply press down and hold on the iPad, and we will present, or the application itself will present a screen that allows me to come in and sign off on the document. So I can come in and place text in here, add stamps, images, and things like that. Or if I select the signature, I have the ability to upload my own signature and just populate that as I press my signature. Or if I want to sign it physically, maybe you're sitting with a client or out in the field, you've got a work order, you just hand it over to the end user, they can sign off on the document. And then, of course, I did not put that in the right place, so I can just drag it right over to the appropriate area. Now, when I open a document for edit in Cabinet Mobile, the first thing that we're going to do is check it out. So we'll put a notation on it. We'll hold it in a temporary place so that you'll know this document was checked out and needs to be checked back in. In order to check it back in, I'll need to open this back in Cabinet Mobile. With the PDF Expert application, there's a nice capability here to basically embed my annotations. I can save this as a document, which makes it editable when it's back in Cabinet Mobile if I need to add data to the PDF form or add another signature. Or I can flatten this copy. What flattening the copy will basically do is if you work today with TIFF images in the Image Manager and Cabinet Safe Desktop, you have the ability to permanently embed those annotations. This will do the exact same thing. So if I filled out an expense report and I signed it and I don't want someone to be able to come in and edit that particular document in the future, then I would select the flattened copy and that will embed those annotations in the document itself. So we'll just save this as a regular editable document, select Cabinet Safe as the application to save it in, and a nice dialog here that basically says, hey, you open this in edit mode, we want you to be able to check this back in. So we'll check it in. That will save the version if I have versioning turned on for that particular document type. The last area within a folder itself is the ability to create documents. Within the interface, if I press the Create or Add Document button, I'm presented with a few capabilities here. First of all, new documents. Today in Cabinet Safe Desktop Client, you have the ability to go to a folder, press New, and select a document template. Well, that's what's going to be presented here. Your PDF forms, your word merge templates, your boilerplate documents are loaded in a document library and accessible by your field people. So in this case, if I just want to come in and fill out an expense report, I can select the appropriate document template, verify the naming, the sensitivity, and the appropriate tab, and file that document into Cabinet Mobile. Now if I want to go in, open that document back in PDF Expert and make my annotations, I can go through the typical process, fill this out, and sign it. Some of the other capabilities with your document templates, kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. A lot of our clients have said, I want to be able to give my board members and my upper-level management iPads for the board and management meetings. So you can create things like just a standard vanilla Word document template that will enable them to take their notes, save that in the appropriate folder, route it around as needed. Also, on sales calls and things like that for your Salesforce, being able to just come in and type in a notepad document, save it into the folder. So you can. The other capabilities of the Add Document button are the ability to import from the tray. When I open a document in another application, so let's say that I've got a proposal I'm working on, and I need to open this up in Microsoft Word, maybe work on it in the train or in an area where I don't have a Wi-Fi connection. When I push that back in the Cabinet Mobile, we're going to place it into a document tray. The document tray will enable me to have a temporary holding place for these particular documents. So now I can come in, select the document that I have pushed in the Cabinet Mobile, and select the appropriate naming template and file it. Lastly is the ability to work with images. One of the nice features of your iPad is the high-def camera that's built onto the actual iPad app itself. So if I want to be in the field and take a picture of a work order or a receipt and attach it to an expense report, I can access the image, take that image, and file it right here. Another capability is the camera roll. One of the things I like to talk about here is utilizing some of the technology of the iPad itself. If I get a hotel receipt, for instance, one of the things that I would typically do is drag that to Cabinet and file it or print it or something like that. Well, with the iPad application and the actual interface here, I can open that receipt up. We'll go to the tall view here so that I can see the entire receipt. And as you know, by simply pressing the home button along with the power button, I can take a quick snapshot of that document. So I don't have to drag and drop or print or scan or anything. And what that will enable me to do now is go to my camera roll, select that receipt that I've taken a picture of, upload it, name it, and file it right in there. And then I can, of course, attach it to the actual expense report, and that will be filed away in the document, in the folder for me. If I have any attachments to documents, when I come to a document, I'll see a paper clip. I can simply click on that paper clip and see the attachment. Okay, so now let's take a look back to the initial area where we came into Cabinet Mobile and talk about the system tray at the bottom of the screen. First of all, the search area is, in my opinion, a little bit more powerful. In Cabinet Safe Desktop, I have the ability to search by document title or tag or full text search. Well, if I want to, let's just look for those same expense reports we were looking at earlier. Type in the search term, select document title and OCR. So in this case, this will look in the contents and the tag level. And I can specify a specific cabinet and a max result. So if I don't want 1,000 documents, I can limit this. As I press the search button, now I get a listing of those results, and we're going to break that out by either full text search or the tag level. So I love the functionality here to be able to perform multiple searches with the click of a couple of keys here. The favorite area is going to enable me to access those documents that have either been bookmarked in Cabinet Safe Desktop or favorited in a document or a folder. The way to favorite a document is, if I'm on a document, there is a star at the top of the screen that I can press, and this will add it to the favorite area. So you've got a handful of projects you're working on, documents that you're accessing every day. You can favorite or bookmark these. When you're in Cabinet Safe Desktop, they'll be presented as bookmarks on the dashboard. And when you're in the mobile application, you can just come right to the favorite area without navigating or searching. We looked at the document tray. This is the area where those documents are going to be temporarily stored for me to come in and tag at a later time. And then any of the documents that I've checked out and I'm editing as a PDF form or a Word document in Docs to Go, we'll basically give you a listing of those by clicking or pressing on the checked out button. So now I know this background check is out. Maybe I need to go to Docs to Go, finish the editing, and check it back in. Or if I've made errors and I want to retain the current version, I can simply left swipe and undo the checkout. Lastly is a document or a Cabinet Mobile settings area. This is basically going to provide me with the account information associated with my login to Cabinet Mobile. Again, your users are going to need their own license to Cabinet Safe, whether it's a web-only, view-only license up to a full editable user. Once they have that user license, if you're an installed client, your IT group will need to give you the customer code, server, and database to connect to. If you are a cloud-based user, then you will need to contact Help Desk, and we can provide you with those credentials. We also provide some ability to get help within the mobile application itself. So if I click on the FAQ area, I'll be presented with the fact document where I can come in and check out some of the most commonly asked questions and how to work with PDF forms and things like that. We link you straight to the support site, so if you want to come in, file a ticket, see some of the other questions that have been asked and answered, you can access by simply pressing on support website. And then lastly, if you're in an area, you have a problem, you can email Help Desk by pressing on the email customer support, fill out your information here, and this will actually create a ticket and send you a reply back with your ticket number. So kind of wrapping things up here, if you have any questions, first of all, from a perspective of accessing and obtaining the Cabinet mobile application, once you have your specific information here, the first thing that you'll need, if you're an installed client, you'll need to contact your region manager. They can schedule an appointment for one of our customer service reps to set up your web services. You'll need specific web services for the Cabinet mobile application. Once you have those web services installed, your users can simply go to the App Store, and I'll just do a quick search on Cabinet Safe to show you where the application is in the App Store. So they can download this individually. It's $9.99 per user. And then the configuration information we looked at in the account area earlier will be input, and they can log in. So in wrapping up, if you guys have any additional questions or there's any other areas where you may need some training, we do invite you to contact your region manager, and we can set those things up and get your training set up and answer your questions. Hopefully you've been able to get a good feel for some of the functionality of the Cabinet mobile application and see some areas that you may not be working in today. So we've had several questions in the question answer panel. So I'm going to turn this over